As you can see behind me, we have 2 inflatable boats set up. I absolutely love to fish from these boats in shallow river systems, Murray cod, trout, whatever it may be. I'm gonna run through right now our Takacat inflatable boat setups, what we put in them, from the fishing gear to the deck setup, as you can see, and how it all goes together. Starting with how it actually comes in the bag and step-by-step setting it up. The range of boats we use are the Takacat inflatable boats. They're a New Zealand made boat, but they are phenomenally tough. People ask us all the time, are they tough enough to withstand the environment that we fish here? We bash them into logs, bash them into rocks, drag them over stone bars constantly, and they withstand the test of time. I've been fishing from inflatables since I was a kid, and I've been using Takacats for probably over 10 years, and it is my most favorite style of fishing. Shallow rivers, super skinny water, rapids, fast flowing water, heaps of good structure, and those boats are phenomenal for it. Far better than a kayak or a tinny. So I'm gonna run you through now the entire process, setting it up and what goes in to the decks, the gear, and what we put in the boat. Like I said, we're using the Takacat inflatables. Now they come in 2 bags. One has your floor and all your poles. We're gonna pull that out. The first one is the actual main boat frame itself. So we're gonna set this boat up, show you how we set it up, and then we're gonna show you the accessories and the customizations we've made to the boat. So like we said, this big bag here, that rolls out. So you can see here, it's a super nice sunny day here. Heaps of people are playing. You probably hear background noise going for a swim. So you see here, it rolls up and then we fold it out. So when you do fold it back, lay it out flat, fold it into thirds and then roll it. Most of the models come like that. This one here is Dan's boat. This is the LX range and it's the open nose. And my boat there, which you saw at the start, is the closed mount. It's the Sport or the S range. Both really good boats, and we've built decks to suit both of them. Different style decks, so we'll show you them in a minute. Roll this out, we're gonna start pumping this boat up. So one thing I just wanna mention is we actually use a blower, like a leaf blower, to start the pump up process of this inflatable. The best idea ever. We used to pump it up from scratch, so, or warm you up on a cold day, but not necessary. There's a fair bit of blowing up by hand on these. You can get your normal 12 volt, just little pumps, but they take ages. You watch how quick this blows up with a Milwaukee blower. One thing to remember though, this comes with a seal. You see that? That's, well, the seal's on there. And you push it down, lets air out. Obviously it's deflated now. If you push it in and twist it to the right, it opens the seal. So Jack will come over now. You wanna blow these up, mate? Once he starts blowing that up, the air will freely flow, because that is not made for it. It's not made for it. We just sit it on there to blow it up like 80% of the way. Yep, you're right. So you can see there, once we get 80% of the way, Jack just twists it and the seal, basically if you listen here, you'll hear it. Air will come out. So it was open, so when he pulls the blower off, you just twist it, locks on. What, it's like 80% done? Yeah. Heaps quicker. Then you got to use the proper pump to finish it off. So we'll do the other side. Now while Jack does the other side, or before he starts, I'm just going to show you this other bag here. Again, excuse the light we've got. We'll open this bag. This one's got our transom bars, our floor, which is a high pressure air deck. It's almost like, imagine a stand-up paddleboard, and our back plate. So when you are setting one of these up, if you do get yourself a Takacat, make sure you put these bars in when the boat's either deflated or 80% done. They're so hard to get in at full, once they're fully inflated. So as Jack starts to blow that side up, I'll whack these in. Comes with this plate, and this is literally the transom plate. It's what you would mount a petrol motor to. We don't do that on our boats. Something I'm looking into doing, possibly mounting a petrol motor so I can take it out, but we usually use this for full day floats. I'm just gonna square those bars up there, put this washer on, this big ring, which is like a nut, and you can do it up by hand, which is really cool. So that just secures, makes the boat sit square, but it's also your plate. It's literally your plate for your petrol motor. So that goes on. Now just for the floor and to finish pumping the boat up. Floor's just the air deck, which is here. This is just something that I do with these boats. I kind of just fold it in half and we just sit it there. You don't have to actually push it down. You just want the sides of it to pull it your way. Pull it your way, yep. And then when you pump it, it sort of finds its place. This model here has just got a couple of rings that you got to make sure sit through the holes. Other than that, we're just going to pump it up, and that's the basis of the boat. Final step is just the inflation of the air deck itself. Again, we use the Milwaukee blower. You got to pump up the rest by hand. to get like that real high pressure in your air deck. So that's the boat itself, fully inflated. The deck itself is quite stable and you can fish like this, but once we put the decks on it, phenomenal, unbelievable platform. So you just have to customize the deck to suit. And I'm going to show you how we've customized ours. And we've actually got a video that shows you step by step of how we build it. So if you want to check out that video, it's inside our membership platform. It goes into detail around the design. But I'm still going to put them on now and show you the decks that sit on these boats. Super easy on the roof racks. Before I throw it in the boat, this is the bit you probably really want to see, is this deck. Now they're suited to the boat. Mine's very different. See this bit here on the front? Mine does not have that because the boat is fully enclosed, whereas Dan's is a catamaran, it's open. This actually sits down on his deck. And obviously we run through this in that video I was talking about. But the main thing is it's deck, it's ply. We didn't go marine ply, you could, went ply. My boat's painted. I've painted all the sheets before I screwed it together. It's gonna last a long time. This one should be painted. We were in a rush when we actually put this one together for a trip. It's not painted, but you would want to paint to seal all the timber. We run with carpet. There's lots of different things you can put on it. But the big thing is it's a big piece of timber. You can go with thicker ply or thinner ply. We went with thinner ply and doubled it up in some sections for more support. We run through our process on down to the size of the timber, the cuts we do, everything in that other video. But the thing I want to show you is this undercarriage. We call it an undercarriage. As you can see, what happens is it helps center the boat, this deck. So you don't have to worry about it shifting left to right because this sits inside the platform and the boat, and it gives you a spot to put all your stuff. Yes, you could slide all your junk in underneath the boat, but the water does run through these boats. The water comes in the back, runs through the front as well. But the other thing is when we put a battery on this, the battery weight pushes on this, which pushes on this, which puts the weight on the sides of the boat rather than in the floor, and it makes it more stable. So overall it becomes a really stable watercraft. And best of all, you've got this insane casting deck, and that's where our electric motor goes. So with my one, you just slide it in and literally just pull it up to the front. Dan's obviously, that just rests right on the front there. And that gives you that unreal platform at the front of the boat. We mount the electric motor there. So we'll grab the back one, it goes on the back, drop it in, drop it down, and then slide it back. Yeah. So you can see there, the point of the undercarriage, it's now locked in, can't go either way, and the boat pretty much ready to go. So they're the decks, and then that gives you this incredible platform up the top to fish from. It then puts your weight on the side chambers. So your weight's on the side, not in the floor anymore. Ridiculously more stable. So he's stable side to side because all the weight is on these chambers on the side. And same goes for the gear that we put in. Because of the undercarriage, it forces the weight onto the sides. And this is the setup, the customization that we have created. Now for the electric motor to go on, we just run the cable under the front. Batteries go at the back for even weight distribution, because obviously you notice this boat and this boat, you got less air space at the front of the boat. So we don't want electric motor, person and batteries at the front. So we run a long cable to the back for the batteries to sit towards the back. There's a lot more stability at the back, because obviously that's where you normally mount your petrol motor. And like I said, you could have a smaller deck at the back, run a petrol at the back, and have your electric at the front. And it becomes just like a small tinny and a small watercraft, but it's way quieter, way more stable. And the gear we fit in it is phenomenal. But the stability and the quietness and the fact that they draw very little water makes these things incredible. Obviously a little bit of setup time, but so worth it. We put the rods on, we've got D-snagger pole, we've got camera mounts, we have a keel at the back. Keel's very important if you don't have a petrol motor. It stops the back of the boat from swinging. If you ever find that you're in a big boat and the back of your boat swings back and forth in the current, you need to put your petrol motor in. Acts as a keel, stabilizes the boat. So we've got a keel on the back. So this is Dan's boat pretty much set up. These camera cases, that is just an additional because we film. These are actually strapped to the deck so they can't come off. Saves us getting in and out underneath. But if you come over and have a look, you can see we've got this space in the middle. So all this space allows us to drag the gear in and out. So that's his food bag, it's Dan's food bag. Then we've got tackle trays, drag them in and out, whatever other gear he wants to pull in and out from underneath. So that way we've got all this storage now under both decks. Heaps and heaps of storage that you wouldn't have otherwise had, because you would want to walk around on that deck, the floor of the boat. So you've now got this surface floor and this underneath floor. You can see they've got all the rods strapped on. We'll come and have a look at my boat. And this is my boat here, very much similar, the only different is a different model. So this is the Takacat S, 340S. Dan's is the 340 LX. Again, keel at the back. That just goes up and down. Keel at the back. This is a camera mount which we'll put up. You can see here we've got bungee straps for our rods because everything is on a deck. I talked to Dan about it, and it's very different to fishing in a boat. It's like you're on a floating platform. You've got no edges. And I think that's what I really love about it, is if you just look out, you don't feel like you're in something. You're on this platform that just floats down the river, and it's different to being in a boat with gunnels and sides. Yes, you got to be careful. We have lost one rod once, but that was in some really hectic country. You put these straps on, the de-snagger pole's there, holds everything in, rods sit across there. I've got all this deck space to walk around on. Keel at the back. This is the back person's spot. The net goes there. That's our summer. So we've got our drinks and cold stuff in there. Got a food bag there. And again, all my lure trays just go up in there, up in here. I can throw this bottle of water here I've got, just slide it straight under. I've got deck space for miles underneath. Again, my camera box, my electric motor, foot control so we can drive them. We're ready to go. I'm actually very excited for this trip. We're on the Upper Murray here today, and we're going to be floating down doing a session, which we will make another video on. So make sure you keep an eye out for that video as well. That'll be us actually fishing out of these Takacats. I've been using these inflatables for a very long time. So if you are worried about, it's an inflatable, will it pop? Incredibly strong. I've got one boat that's going on 10 years and we punish it. You obviously gotta be careful. Star pickets in the water, sharp metal objects, and a stick that's pointing back at you. You gotta be very careful, but bumping into things that are generally just normal logs and rocks and things like that, no problem at all. Again, with these decks that we build, we've got an outer perimeter as well. So a lot of things will bump into the decks before the actual boat. They've got the protective stripping. They've got protective stripping underneath. They're set up phenomenal. And the best thing is we actually fill it with camp gear. So if you want to see what we take on an extended trip, a long camp trip, we're going for 2 nights now, and we're going to live out of these boats for 3 days and 2 nights. If you want to see the gear we take, we strap it into dry bags, and we have a whole heap of different things we got. I'm going to film another video. It'll be available inside our social fishing membership platform. So head to www.socialfishing.com.au. Check that one out. Inside the membership, we have a stack of videos on these Takacat inflatables. Plus, we have a video where we show you how we put those decks together. Dan and I filmed a video step by step. I've actually built probably 6 or 7 different variations of these decks over my time, just from different inflatables and changing and tweaking, and we've come up with the recipe and the method. And Dan's first go at it, we pretty much just took the same model, put it together, and it works brilliantly. So if you want to see the step by step, if you want to do something like this to your boat, any inflatable, but I highly recommend the Takacats, that video is available inside the membership platform. But if you are keen on these, jump on takacat.com. They have an Australian website as well, .com.au. Check out the Takacats. Like I said, I've been using the 3-meter models for a very, very long time. Most of the videos will be in that 3-meter model. We upgraded to 3.4 for our extended camping trips. And it is a bigger boat, but on the water, it doesn't feel much bigger. It's not much more on the electric motor, and you can fit heaps more gear in it. They even have 3.8s, 4-meter models, so you can get a model to suit your needs. Incredible craft. Obviously, it doesn't replace your big boat with, say, a big motor on the back, like a 4.5-meter boat, but it's definitely an incredible option for shallow water drifting. Whether you're in a kayak, a tinny, I'd pick an inflatable any day. So that is our Takacat inflatable setup.